Hi everyone, I'm Maria and thank you so much for watching this video. So I would like to introduce you to a new series that's happening now on Patreon. It's called Farm Life. So we're painting different farm scenes, landscapes. This series consists of 7 classes. Actually, it's 8 classes because the first one is about practicing like painting farmhouses, buffalo, and some birds. There's also a PDF file, a workbook with step-by-step images on how to paint these objects as well. So we're going to have a new class every Tuesday, a part of our regular schedule on Patreon. We'll start with this first one. If you would like to watch a full class, it's available on Patreon. The link is below this video. Thank you. And let's try not to wet the farmhouse. Sometimes I get sidetracked and I still wet it, I forget. There you go. I'm just going to go around it. You can download the sketch below the post. So I'm going to wet it for like 5 minutes now, okay? So here's my palette. This is Quin Red, Burnt Sienna, Van Dyke Brown, ISO Yellow, Imidazzle Yellow, Sap Green. I don't know. I have Hooker's Green. Maybe I'll use it. Maybe not. It's not necessary. But Phthalo Blue, Cobalt Blue, Indigo, Rose Sienna Yellow, Ochre. So simple, very simple color palette. So we need to create is that yellow glow. So we have some, here's my Imidazzle Yellow. And I was talking about extra colors. I do have like ochre here. Okay, here's the thing. You can easily just go with a quinacridone red. If you happen to have ochre, that will give you like a brighter shade of that orange. It's pretty, isn't it? But you can do the same thing, I promise you that, with a Quin Red. Just different shade, of course. But you don't need ochre. That's so funny. I was just talking about the palette, limiting my palette, right? And here I go painting with ochre. Well, I don't know if it was on the recommended list or not, but this is a little bit of ochre. And I forgot that I had some of the paintings. In the past, I did like with way more ochre. And I remember how much glow it gives. A little more. This is milk-like ratio. I'm trying to get right above the rooftop here. So there it is. I'd like to have more yellow actually on this side. You can easily use quinacridone red and just go right above a little more of the red. Maybe I will grab a little bit of that Quin Red. It'll make more sense. And then more blue. And then I need to work on the clouds. So this color is bleeding down here, so I don't want that. And I did scratch my paper, just FYI. So I just noticed it, which is a bummer because it's like you lose that softness. So you don't want to overly mix the colors. You want to gently mix them or blend them on your palette. And then all that blending should really happen here on the paper. So I could easily go with a smaller brush, but I'm kind of like already doing it with this brush. If I want them to be a little more yellow, then I'll grab more yellow with that blend. If I want it to be more bluish, I'll grab more blue. So this is a little more blue. Clean it, and I'm gonna grab this yellow, move it here. And there's my other yellows, Imidazzle Yellow. And I want some of the quinacridone red. And go right here where I have the sky, because if I don't connect it right away and then suddenly I add colors here, everything will kind of go up there. So here's my yellows, some of the reds, so quinacridone red, some ochre. I don't need to use ochre, but since I already started using it. And then you're looking for the lightest areas, so you have to leave some lighter areas, but overall quick strokes to apply it through. Now, what you also could do, just FYI, some of the paint from the washi might bleed down. So it's important to actually wipe it a little bit, make sure nothing goes down. Burnt sienna, and then I kind of have sketch lines like to follow the pattern. Maybe some Van Dyke Brown too. You always want to have some lighter areas in your painting. And what would make it more natural is actually adding to this blend a little bit of blue. So in a second, I'm going to add a little bit of blue. Now I'm going back here. I have to be careful, so maybe I need to wipe my brush on a towel because this is where I painted the sky, and I painted the sky first. So that sky will dry faster. And we have lines because this is a farm, so we have all that going on. We also have a fence there, which would be fun to paint as well. So what else? I'm gonna switch to a different brush. First of all, trees, right? This is my round 8 golden one. Now when I look at the sky, it's fine, except think about like adding maybe smaller clouds here and there, just FYI. But here is Van Dyke Brown, burnt sienna, and then there's my sap green. This is cream top like ratio. Now why cream top? Because I don't want this to spread too much. What would help is actually grabbing a little bit or adding a little bit of blue, either phthalo blue, maybe indigo. And then there's the browns. It's still spreading, right? So I need to work more or better on the consistency so it's heavy cream. And I also have a lot of water on the brush. So I could do this with a smaller brush, size 3 for example, round 3. Let's see if I have patience for this one, just to do it with the round brush 8, because this brush is excellent. It has a fine point and everything, but we can simply like just go with one color, but you create natural shades of like green just by grabbing blue to it, like with blue at the same time, or brown. So and then you're letting the colors to separate, which is part of it. Like you want the colors to separate. Now let's quickly grab this Van Dyke Brown, burnt sienna, sap green, some indigo, maybe more of the browns, all the blues and everything. And let's just add it a little bit here. This is creamy, so everything cream top like ratio now that we're adding, simply because we want to have the most control. But let's start with little areas that are still wet. So for example here, and try to grab like a creamy paint. So creamy paint over like almost damp paper, I'd say. And this is perfect. So some areas, yes, it might feel like you're painting wet on wet and some areas wet on dry. Now, perspective, right? So I gotta make sure that this is smaller in the background, all that fence. And the fence in the foreground, like more in the foreground, is going to be larger posts. So like these should be a little longer. So I forgot about that for a second. This should be longer. Now we have taller posts and shorter posts. So more of that cream top of the Van Dyke Brown. What I'm gonna do is clean my brush, and I'd like to grab a rigger brush for the fence. I'm not gonna really paint like the top line. I want that wire, a little bit of the wire. So I guess I should grab some blue, phthalo blue, some of the Van Dyke Brown, and I'm gonna go very gently just to create like a idea of this little wire above. It would be more visible like here, closer to us than here, but I will still add a little something. So it looks like it's connected. All right, my friends, let's finish this up, right? So first, let's grab, this is all mixed up, but this is ISO yellow, there's quinacridone red. You can use ISO yellow or imidazolone yellow, but I'm gonna actually grab now different yellow, the imidazolone yellow, because I want to mix colors on the paper. And try to stay away from like the edges of what we're painting, because it looks like it should be white for sure. And this is more red. Now the bottom, more of the yellow. This is milk-like ratio. This is all like the white that reflects. Rooftop. Rooftop seems so blue. So let's grab some of this. This is on the tip of my brush. This is phthalo blue red shade. And I need this to be a little more diluted with water. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of red, quinacridone red, and just add it maybe like on top. And then the same thing, so phthalo blue, diluted paint with water. And this is like milk. I didn't go straight, and that's okay. And we're gonna lift some colors there too. I cleaned my brush and I'm grabbing just the phthalo blue. I would like to add birds right there. So this is my round 0 somber details, and blue plus brown. And this is like on the tip of my brush. I really don't see any birds actually. Do I see birds? Let me scroll through. Nope. So I'm just gonna add some here. And I'm gonna wipe the brush so I can do some dry brushing too. And small tiny birds. This is actually small, so I guess I'll pretend like the birds are more in the foreground. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out. That's it for this class. I'm gonna remove the washi. All right, thank you so much for your time. Please let me know if you have any questions. When I see that the highlight has some color in it, and in this case it's like a blue violet, so follow blue with some quin red, that's when I know, okay, this is going to have that undertone layer. And so when you look at the highlight, this part is kind of really like white almost, and then you have the blue.